Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. And obviously, today is our Memorial Day episode. So today I want to spend some time talking about those we honor on Memorial Day. I want to spend a little time talking about the military, and I want to spend a little bit of time talking about how you can honor those that have fallen. Because remember, this isn't Veterans Day. It's not the day to honor the people currently serving or the people who previously served then returned. It's a day to honor the people that served but didn't get to come home. You know, those that died in the line of duty. So I want to talk today, how do you honor those that have already passed? How's the best way? What is the best thing we can do to honor the spirit of those that gave their life for their country or in service of their country? And kind of saying that there, I want to speak about the military a little bit first, so people know where I'm coming from. I'm not going to talk about my own history. I don't think that's relevant or means anything to anyone out there. What I'm going to say is I know a lot of people have problems with the U.S. military. And there's lots of reasons to have a problem with the military. The military, like any organization like that, can be used and they can be misused. But here's the one thing I want people to remember. If you've got a problem with the way the military is quite often used, and don't think people in the military don't know this, they're not stupid. They realize this themselves sometimes, yet they still go on and do their duty because it is their duty to follow orders and do as, whatever is in the best interest of the country they serve or what their commander-in-chief tells them to do. I often know that they're more often than not serving the interest of Wall Street these days. And it is okay to have a problem with that. It's okay to say, I don't like the way the military is being used. But remember, it isn't NCO somebody that's making these decisions. It's CEO somebody. Don't get mad at private anybody or sergeant anybody or captain anybody for what the military's doing. Get mad at the leaders of industry. Get mad at the politicians. They're the ones that make the decisions. When our military is misused to protect oil interests or other big business interests overseas, that's not because the soldiers don't know what's going on or don't have their priorities straight. It's because the politicians and the people who pay them have problems or have priorities that are a little out of whack and out of step with what America should stand for. So when you got a problem with your military, remember that. Now, I'm also going to say I am not someone that deifies the military. Just like I don't bootlick police officers, I don't deify the military. I think that's one of the tricks that your government tries to use when they say things like, well, if you say something bad about this, then you obviously don't support the troops. That's just a form of brainwashing to try to back you into a corner to where you feel like you have to accept things or be deemed some sort of traitor if you have a problem with something. So I don't like deifying any group of people, law enforcement, military, etc. The whole, the military is the best and the brightest. Well, anybody who's been in the military knows that, yeah, sometimes, but not usually. Usually it's just ordinary, everyday people. Sometimes people that had no other options, or people who wanted to go to school. It's just you and me, basically. That's the military. And as ordinary, everyday people, we do good, we do bad. So I don't deify the military, but also I want people to remember when you have a problem with the way the military is used, that's a problem with the government, not actually the soldiers. You can hate the game and hate the game masters, but don't hate the pawns, because people in the military, they just do their job. They are pointed at a problem and they do what they were trained to do. They don't set the priorities. So just honor the fact that they signed on that dotted line, they risked their lives, and they should be honored for that, especially when they don't get to come home. And when they do get to come home, we should honor our contracts with them, regardless of how you feel about the military. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, honoring our contracts with our veterans, the ones that are living today and the ones that didn't get to return. Because people talk about, well, how do we honor those that have fallen? What can we do? Should we build statues? Should we build memorials? Should we lay flowers on graves? Well, all that's fine. And it usually is done to make the people doing it feel better about themselves, or to virtue signal something, about themselves. Like, look at me, I'm honoring the veterans. I think the way we could really honor the veterans, not flowers or memorials, etc., the best way to honor people that have fallen in uniform is to take care of the ones that actually come back. For every soldier that is left overseas or gives their life overseas, the best thing we can do for them is to take care of their brothers that actually come home. Because we have so much mental illness in the armed forces because of the things you see, the things you do. That's not something a person should cope with in a normal lifetime. So there's a lot of issues. And unfortunately, our military demonizes mental illness. And anyone out there who doesn't believe me, actually spend some time with some old veterans or current veterans that actually have issues. If you go to your CEO and say, you know what, I'm having dreams, or I'm having anxiety, I'm having this, well, you're immediately labeled as defective or broken or less than. So you're encouraged to never speak up when you have a problem. And I don't like that. We need to be giving our veterans the best of care, not just caring for their bodies so they can go out and fight again, so they can go out and stand between, a foreign power and an oil field or whatever, but also take care of their minds. Take care of them to where they're emotionally healthy, mentally healthy. And when they are not, don't treat them like they're broken. Treat them just like they have appendicitis or a cold. When a soldier has a cold or a blister, you take them off duty for a while, you treat the issue, and when they're good, they go back. Do the same with mental health. Don't demonize it, treat it. And that's going to require a change of attitude in the military, and it's going to require a change in attitude in politicians who would much rather give military funding to billionaires, CEOs, etc. If you scrutinize how much money we spend on military spending, military defense, if you look at what percentage of what we spend just goes purely into profit for corporations, it has grown exponentially since the 60s. It used to be where this was the budget and this was how much came out for profit. Now this is how much is actually spent on anything, and this is how much is profit. That's not good. That money should be spent on our veterans, making sure they have housing when they come back, or at least opportunities for housing, making sure they have job opportunities, maybe offering incentives to business to hire veterans again, doing stuff like that, making sure that their mental health is sound when they return. Stuff like that. That's the best way to honor, or at least one of the best ways, I think, to honor our fallen veterans, is to take care of the ones that are still here. They signed a contract with our country. They did their job. Now let's take care of them. Let's honor that. So that's, like I say, one great way to honor our veterans this year. The other way I think we can honor our veterans every day, and I don't want you to say like Memorial Day. That's so often I see that's the one day the politicians do something, or the people put their flags out, or whatever. It's the one day of the year they got to go do something for the fallen, put something on a grave. It should be year round. And just like with the taking care of the veterans that survive, should be year-round. The other thing I think we could do, which is probably the best thing we could do, or at least the second best thing we could do to protect, depending on what your perspective is here, to honor our fallen veterans, is to protect the things they fell for. The reason they served their country. Protect the values and the principles that the military is supposed to stand for. Freedom, independence. A government that doesn't control your life. Our founding fathers never really wanted a standing military because they're afraid a standing military would start to serve the politicians and the government and not the people. So if we want to honor what America is supposed to stand for, we should make sure that we protect the freedoms that the military is supposed to stand for. Protect your Second Amendment rights. Protect your First Amendment rights. Fight for those. Fight for the rights of every person in this country and keep it free. Don't surrender freedom for perceived safety. Don't take the easy way out. Don't say, well, the principle's there, but it's just too much work to fight for this stuff. No, fight for it. Fight for the Constitution. Stand up. When someone in this country is doing something that's reprehensible, that goes against our core values of equality and every person is equal and everyone should have the same rights and everyone should have the same freedoms and the government shouldn't invade our lives, stand up every time you see someone go or act counter to that. Don't just do it when it affects you or affects a group of people you agree with. Do it all the time. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't get online one day and talk about freedom and blah, 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 and then the next day, we got to crack down on these people I don't agree with. Because that just makes you a hypocrite, doesn't make you an American. So, I know this has been rambly, and I wanted to keep this short and sweet because I just wanted to make it just about the veterans today, just about those that have fallen, just about how to honor our fallen veterans, and also to say, the military's people. If you've got a problem with the way the military's used, get upset with the people who pull the strings, not the people who are actually boots on the ground. As far as the ones that survive, let's take care of them. That's the least we can do for the ones that have fallen, is to take care of their brothers. And the thing we can do for all of them is fight for what makes this country worth fighting for. That includes your First Amendment right, your Second Amendment rights, and so on. The entire Bill of Rights. Everything. The things that are and aren't enumerated in the Constitution. The freedoms we have that are written on paper and the ones that are implied or unwritten. And the fact that all people should be free and all people should be equal. Fight for that. That's the best thing we can do on Memorial Day and every day of the year. And I know, like I said, it's long and rambly, but that's how I feel about it. I get sick of seeing the people virtue signaling with their wreaths and they're saluting the graves one day a year and their flags they fly one day a year and all this other stuff. Or even the ones that just put a flag out every day, but don't ever do anything to defend what it stands for or even understand what it stands for. My grandfather used to say that the people who wrap themselves the most tightly in the flag are often the ones that have no idea what it stands for. Which is why I never trust anyone that wraps themselves in a flag. If I see people standing around and they got Star and Stripes hat on and a shirt that's made out of like a flag, which I find as a desecration, I don't trust that person. I doubt that person knows what the flag means. It's just like every time I hear someone said, I'm American through and through and I believe in the Constitution and I believe in every principle, and this is where I get myself in trouble and lose subs and stuff. I believe in all that stuff, and if I ever see someone not standing for the national anthem at a ball game, I'll yank them out of their seat. Or if I ever saw someone burn a flag, I'd beat them to death. Well, then you don't understand what the flag stands for. Because that flag stands for that guy not having to stand up and swear allegiance. We don't have to swear allegiance to our leaders or our flag. That flag stands for someone having the right to desecrate it if they want to. I don't mean we have to like it. But if they buy it and they burn it, that's their business and it's their dollar. I'll think of them as scum or not very nice. I'll just say that. I won't think nice things about them, but I'll still recognize their right to do it, even though I hate it. And if you can't do that, you don't understand what the flag stands for. So, like I said, don't be a one-day-a-year patriot. Don't be someone who honors the vets or the fallen one day a year. Do it year-round by taking care of the people that try to defend our country and want to do the right thing, even if sometimes their leaders don't let them. Take care of the people who sign on that dotted line to protect our country. And every day of the year, protect our rights, and not just the rights we care about for ourselves, but all of them for everyone.